Moving right along in my quest to redo 5 reviews that I did today that had absolutely no audio in them. It was fun. So this one is a mod I picked up from Siam Mods. It's siam-mods.com in the UK. It is the cube. It is aluminum, or as they say across the pond, aluminium. Very shiny, very cool. Saw it on Scott Bonner's review, and I lasted 2 days before I ordered one. I couldn't stand it. I had to have one. It's a tube mod, but it is squared. Like this. Very cool. I'm going to show you, and I'm attempting this. We'll see. The breakdown of what exactly this entails. So, this is the new mod. Not the newest mod, but one of the newest mods I got. This is called the Cube. I got it from siam-mods.com in the UK. They distribute from the UK and Thailand. Yeah, I'm just going to put the link for it. And I'm going to say a bunch of times because this is a different bit of say it, Eva. Jesus. It's a different review. I'm going to try splicing 2 videos together. Okay, a close-up of the mod so I can show you how it goes together. I had it for a couple of days now, and I've already got a pro and con list. Yeah. So this is the cube. This is the aluminum. 60 pounds. I paid for it. It turned out to be $108 shipped Canadian. It's a totally mechanical mod. It came with, this is the switch on the bottom. And the top has a really nice juice well. It's a 510 connection. The bottom, it came with 2 different springs. Am I sounding like Hot Angel? Everything is a question. Okay, it came with 2 springs, 2 different gauges, so that so you can adjust your the way you like your button resistance. I did not like the one it came with, although this spring that it came with actually seats in there so it doesn't fall out when you unscrew it. That was the bigger gauge. It was a little harder to push. So I replaced it with this one, which, falls out. You have to be careful, and you have to get it in there right. Okay, the button is also adjustable, the switch, so that depending on how much you want to push it in, you adjust it. The top, just to get a close-up, has an adjustable center pin, which comes in handy. Different addies I noticed that I put on this wouldn't fire, and so you have this little pin to adjust the center post. So there's a close-up of the device. I have to say it's really shiny. It is also a fingerprint magnet, but shiny, and it's light. Now we'll throw a battery in it, and we'll go over the pros and cons of it. I am sounding like I'm asking questions. We're just going to go over the pros and cons of it, and give you my take on it after just a few days. I will say it got better over over the days as I got used to using it. So yeah, I don't know, I think the audio is a little low on that, but there is a bit of a learning curve. The adjustment of the spring, deciding which spring you want to put in it, adjusting the center pin on the top. I found too that it wasn't firing, because with that, the lighter gauge spring not seating, sticking in there, it, when you put the battery in, it sort of doesn't seat right. So I figured out a better way to do it. I'm just going to take it apart really quick, because I noticed it wouldn't fire. So the easiest thing to do, because this, you want it to seat perfectly, is you put the spring in this, right? Then, carefully, although you could probably put some little bit of gummy stuff in there if this is the spring you're going to use, just so it seats it. Then put the battery in over top of it. There, you can hear it bouncing up and down. And then put the top on. It's a little awkward, but I mean, how many times are you going to do it, really? And once you start doing it, get in there. So yeah, there you go. Fires every time. So, a little bit of, I mean, they couldn't make the little well in there that the spring sits in. They couldn't make it permanent for one if they're going to give you two choices, and for they couldn't make the trench for it small enough to seat the small one without not being able to seat the other one. So it's, you know, it's a thing to think about. I like the lighter touch, but and I found that the higher gauge spring was just too much of a, I've already got carpal tunnel, so not a lot of, I can't press that too heavy. But once you get the tinkering down, it's an excellent mod, and I really love it. I love the feel of it. I love the look of it. With my DCA on it, it's very sleek looking. I thought I was going to be I thought it was going to be weird to have a bottom button, until I realized how I actually hold an Ego. I actually hold it that way. So, pros and cons. Well, let me just tell you, I believe I mentioned it was $108 shipped from the UK, and it took, pretty sure, 7 days to get here and released from customs, and just a couple more days after that, and I had it in my hands. So, awesome shipping time. The aluminum one is 60 pounds, and the stainless steel is 85, so I got the aluminum. It's a 510 connection. It goes 3.7 volts with an 18650 or 17670. Or 6 volts with two CR123s, 16340s. Math headache. Anyway, this thing is totally mechanical, which I love. There's no wires or switches or diodes or, you know, anything crazy that can go wrong. It's just connection on the bottom, connection on the top, fires it. Very light. It's the battery weight is all you're feeling. They are going to come out with drip tips to match too, once they get going again. It won't roll off your desk. It's a tube mod that won't roll off your desk. You cannot, of course, it vapes like a champ. I like the juice well, even though with the DCA, there's no need. The adjustable center pin is a great idea, because if you've ever tried digging out the center pin in one of those to try and get to make a connection with an Addy, There's another brain cramp for you. The bottom switch locks, and it's very easy to lock. You just roll it down until it's flush. It won't fire. Then you just roll it back up, and you can adjust how much you want, the distance that you want to go to actually fire it. And my fingers are all greasy. I will say a con, if I ever get this back open. Okay, so you can adjust how much. One of the cons is, if you just saw me doing that, I was trying to just unscrew this, and I unscrewed. This is very touchy and does not tighten. So I found that during the day, just by using it, I was loosening it, and it wasn't firing, and I thought, why isn't this firing? And then I realized it had loosened. Something to think about. The initial setup of it, and we've moved on to the cons. The initial setup of it, like I said, it's fidgety. You don't go right out of the box, bam, God, this thing is awesome. A little bit of fidgeting and getting yours set up just right. Another thing, if you hear that, battery rattles. Not a big thing unless you're, but it rattles. I got rid of the problem with the button sticking, and that was all about the spring that I was using, just not seated in there properly. So that's a con that can be taken out of the list. I do notice that if you change atomizers, you're most likely, well, the 3 that I used, I had to readjust the center pin for. Not a big deal, because most people have an atomizer that they use, till it's dead, like me. But yeah, till you figure out the whole spring thing, it's a bit of a con. But once you get it set up, I have to say I am very satisfied with this thing. I love it. Hits like a champ, and I like that you can do 6 volts if you choose. I'm not a big fan of higher voltages. This one is just perfect for me. Low res atomizer. So yeah, and it's very affordable. I mean, 60 pounds is like $95 American or Canadian. So not bad, and it's well made, and it's sturdy. I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, all in all, very satisfied with the Cube. If you get one, just don't be discouraged when it's not absolutely fabulous out of the box. Just a little bit of fidgeting, and you'll get a perfect vape out of it.